Hello everyone, some of you have asked for some tips on recall, and so I wanted to explain some of the do's and don'ts really. For me, recall is actually two behaviours. The first would be to actually gain your dog's attention so that they are actively turning around and looking to see where you are, and the second behaviour is for them to actually make their way back to you. And I think very often people maybe in some ways expect a bit too much in that they call the dog and that's supposed to mean I want you to look at me, come back to me, sit so I can put the lead on. We often recommend using a whistle because a whistle is a short, high-pitched sound. Research shows that dogs actually respond best to short, high-pitched noises, so a whistle fits the bill perfectly. But what's really key is that you charge the whistle, you build up value to the whistle. People very often get themselves a whistle and for the first 3 days it's fantastic, but then pretty quickly the effect starts to dwindle. So in the next little bit I'm going to show you how to build a whistle up. As you can see, I'm outside at the moment, but that's not where I would recommend you start training the whistle. I recommend you start it at home. So you'll see that in the next little bit. The other thing that's really key is what happens after your dogs come back. Often we have a tendency to, for example, put them back on a lead if we've called them away from a gateway or even another dog, to stop them running back to that dog or running away from us again. And even though that is really understandable, for a lot of dogs that really constitutes a punishment because they would rather avoid the lead going on. So that's really key. Reward is super important, and also knowing your dog, knowing what they like, knowing what makes them tick. So there'll be another video following on to talk about that side of the reward, but the beginnings start with a really strong signal to gain your dog's attention. Happy watching. The video, I'm going to show you how to condition the whistle. As I said, the whistle is purely a way to get your dog's focus and attention. It doesn't make a recall. What's really key is that the whistle comes first and that it predicts to your dog a really strong, salient reward, meaning a reward that they really want. I normally start it at home with the dog this close so that your dog can't get distracted by things that you might encounter on a walk before we try it out and about around more distractions. So super simple, the whistle comes first, the food comes next. This is not about what your dog's doing. I know that Moss is lying down at the moment, but I wouldn't want him thinking that this is part of it. He may as well be sitting or standing. It's sort of not about what he's doing, it's about making that pairing between the whistle and the food. So in total, you want to be doing this at least sort of 60 or 70 times, just over the course of a couple of days, in short little snippets, so that the sound of the whistle becomes conditioned to some really yummy food. And 60 or 70 times for most dogs is enough for that to be a strong association. Hi everyone, just a little add-on that I forgot to mention really. Really, the most important thing with recall is to have engagement with your dog, and your dog staying close to you and you being the biggest reward. So a lot of people maybe don't realise that, for example, the moment you let your dog off the lead, whatever they are looking at that moment, whether it's the other dog across the field or it's the pheasant they've spotted or their favourite tree they like to run up to and have a sniff, whatever they're looking at, the moment that you take that lead off, that's where your dog's going to go. So already often by the time you take the lead off, you've lost your dog's focus. So for example, a really simple exercise is anytime before the lead comes off, you feed your dog 10 treats. Or if you have a dog like say Moss is not massively food motivated, before that lead comes off, you have a really good play with them so that you are your dog's focus the moment that lead comes off. And then, as I said, really what's really key is keeping that engagement. Don't wait until you're in a situation where you have to call them. Often your dog's focus is already on whatever it is they're running towards. They might get excited if it's another dog that they want to go and see, and often when they start to get excited, they start to get more aroused, it becomes more difficult to get them back. So break early, as I always say, and try and just have a lot of engagement with your dog, regardless of whether you want to call them back or not, so that it makes those recall situations an awful lot easier.